So, this is the review for Guacamelee 2. Um, so, in this review, I will give a non-spoiler version of the game, and then I will give a spoiler version of the game, of my review. So, we'll be going over that. So, in the non-spoiler section, I'm just going to be very general with basically what's going on and all that fun jazz. I'll talk about the differences between this game and the last game. I'll leave a link in the video for where you can watch my review for the original Guacamelee, because I have a review of that. So without much ado, let's get into it after the cut. So, let's talk about Guacamelee 2. Guacamelee 2 is a game made by Drinkbox Studios that is a direct sequel to the original Guacamelee. Now, for those of you who don't know the original Guacamelee was essentially a Metroidvania type game that had a kind of a very formulaic and kind of stiff combat system that once you really got used to it, actually had some finesse to it. This game doesn't have that same level of, how can I put this, quality to its combat, because they've made it a little bit too fluid. But besides that, the game is pretty good. So, I guess we can start by talking about the game itself. Graphically, this game looks a little bit more polished than the original Guacamelee. I'm thinking it's made using a refined version of the engine they used to make Guacamelee the Championship Edition, which is basically like a highly revamped, upgraded version of the original Guacamelee. And the game's pretty good, graphically speaking. The music is about on par with the music they had in the first game. No ultra memorable tunes for me, but then again, I'm not a very oh my god, this is the most memorable game ever. The original Guacamelee didn't have really great tunes, except for one, the ay 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 ay, Cante no Llores, and the ending music was pretty good. At the end of the game, if you got the good ending. But aside from that, the game is very, the music is quite varied. Now, it's about on par with the last game. Now we got to talk about the gameplay, which is where this game really shines. The gameplay, when Juan is in his human form, he has the same, once you unlock them, he has the same moves that he had in the last game. They kind of nerfed his moveset so that in the beginning, so that when you unlock the advanced abilities that you kind of just got over the course of the original game, just from leveling up and unlocking moves, kind of brought me down a little bit. The game also has a thing where instead of in the last Guacamelee, you would unlock new moves by going to these save points and then buying them there. In this game, you find trainers over the course of the game, and they are the ones who basically give you upgrades. No biggie, it's just kind of weird. I actually liked buying new abilities whenever you had cash, at a save point. It kind of, locking new abilities behind trainers kind of artificially makes the game, I don't know how I can put this. It artificially makes the game a little too, why? Okay, so I'm supposed to go over here and do this. Okay, fair enough. To me. But the gameplay is still just as smooth. The big change in this game is that the chicken form, which in the first game was kind of shitty, in this game, the chicken form is really useful. It's really useful. Basically, once you unlock the abilities for the chicken format, it's insane. You can kick people's ass asses really, really easily in the chicken form. And once you unlock little special trials where you basically have to go through really hard parts of the game in order to get pieces of a key, in order to open a door in one of the chicken sanctuaries in the game, you get your hands on one of the coolest abilities in the game, which is the infinite ability Poyo Shot, which takes the place of the ability to fly that you could get in the first game. Not as cool as the ability to fly, but to be fair, the ability to fly in the first game kind of broke the game at the end, almost. So, we went over music, we went over gameplay, we went over game design. So I guess the only thing is to give you my non-spoiler review rating. So, without much ado, I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now. Is this game as good as the first Guacamelee? It depends. It depends on what you're looking for, what you like. Me personally, I don't like this game quite as much as the first Guacamelee, but that's just because the first Guacamelee was just really, like, it was a breath of fresh air. And, you know, before anyone says, well, what do you mean it's a breath of fresh air? I have bought this game, once on the PS3, once on the Wii U, and then twice on PC. So the original Guacamelee. So this one I was looking forward to. They never opened it for pre-order on Steam, but when it came out, I bought it. So with that being said, I've played a lot of the original Guacamelee, and this one I beat in about 2 days. Not playing continuously, but like over a decent amount of time. So what can I say about this game? Is it as good as the first one? In my opinion, not quite, but it's still a very good Metroidvania, Castlevania type game. It feels like there's some frame rate issues in the game a little bit. The game doesn't quite flow as well as the previous installment of the game, especially the Championship Edition. So hopefully they'll fix that with some patches after the fact. But overall, the game's pretty good. And if you're looking for a Metroidvania for like $20, this is for you. I spent less than that because I have the original Guacamelee, so I spent 10% plus another 20%. So I spent like $15 for my copy. But you know, not everyone's gonna have that. So boom, that's my non-spoiler review. Spoiler review after the cut. Alright then, so I guess it's time to talk about the spoilers. So basically, the spoilers of this game is this. The story, not quite as good as the original Guacamelee. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Not as good. As a matter of fact, it almost feels like a cookie cutter, cut and paste filler for the original Guacamelee. Not cool. Not cool. The gameplay has been enhanced, but it's like the chicken has been overhauled, but everything else kind of feels so samey. The only new move that's really been added is the grappling hook mechanic, and that's about it. And it's like, okay. Like I feel they could have done more. So with that being said, the music, like I said, the music is about the same. You know, it's on par with itself from the last game, so that's not really surprising. What else? The gameplay. Gameplay-wise, like I said, this game is not really doing anything that's really all that different from the last game. It's not like, this isn't innovation, this is just refinement of what was already there. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not like, oh my god, this has changed everything. The game has been, the paradigm has been changed. No, it's the status quo has been maintained, it's just a little bit more refined. Like I said, that probably would have been a cool thing if this game had done something to maybe, I don't know, maybe have different characters play differently that you could play as or something like that. But, I mean, you're basically, they might add this later. The original Guacamelee got the incredibly awesome upgrade. Full disclosure, this game was originally supposed to be a launch game for the Switch, and I guess some backyard shenanigans went on between Sony and Drinkbox, so it launched first on Sony. It's supposed to be a Switch exclusive, a timed exclusive, but whatever. I don't really care. Because, I mean, like I said, I bought this game for the PS3, the Wii U, the PC, so, you know, I was going to get it regardless, whatever it came to. So, with that being said, this is my non-spoiler review. If you have any questions, comments about the game, leave it in the comment section, and peace!